The men's soccer team opened up conference play this week against Siena and Marist.
And the women's hockey team played out-of-conference opponent LIU this weekend for 2 games.
Field hockey hosted number 12 Liberty and Yale this week.
All that and more, Sports Paws starts now. Welcome into this edition of Sports Paws. I'm Chris Longchamp, and alongside me is Connor Core. Connor, there are a lot of sports that happened this weekend. What do you got for us?
Yes, the men's, women, and soccer team both opened up their conference schedules this week. But let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into it.
Yes. But before we roll the tape, men's soccer beat reporter Roberto Casillas had more on the Bobcats' expectations for the season.
The Quinnipiac men's soccer team is ready for the start of their new MAC season right here on Wednesday against Siena. The team is coming off the heartbreak of last year's MAC championship loss, but speaking to them after practice, they're all hungry to give it one more shot.
I feel everyone is motivated for the game right now and on Wednesday, and everyone's looking forward to it because it's an opportunity that we have to show who we are and what we stand for and what we stand ourselves for, and I think it's just a great opportunity.
Yeah, I think we're ready. Obviously, it's been a long time since we played that full competitive season. So we've had 7 games up to now, which we're in a good position from. We like the way that the team looks. We've had some good competition along the way as well, which is always about preparing ourselves for the MAC season. So we feel like we're in a good place. With this group, we know we have the talent. It's all about execution.
One of the bright spots of this start of the season in the non-conference games for the Bobcats has been Brock Austin. The MAC preseason player of the year leads the team in points and also leads the team in confidence.
I mean, we want to win. We expect to win. We want to go to the national tournament, obviously. I feel like our team is a lot better than it was last year. We're almost the same. Exactly the same team, we're just stronger together in a way. But I still feel like the chemistry in the group is good, and we still feel really good, and we are ready to go 10-0 in the MAC.
Yeah, everything. I think weird is a really good word. Everything. I know you say it in a not a derogatory way, but it is all weird. You know, he's weird. You know, he's beautifully weird. You watch him and you look at him and you expect nothing, right? And he looks like a 12-year-old kid running around there, and then he gets the ball and he just lights up, right? And you watch him play and you light up just watching some of the things that he can do.
The Bobcats are focused on Siena this Wednesday. However, the goal for the season remains the same: to bring home a championship and play in an NCAA tournament come November. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Roberto Casillas.
The men's soccer team welcomed the Siena Saints to Hampton on Wednesday for a rematch of the MAC quarterfinals from last season. Let's see what they got here. And this is the Bobcats' first MAC action of the season against the Siena Saints. Let's get right into it in the first half. Bobcats forward Tomasz Vekulov threads the needle right to Braga Asen, and he puts it in the back of the net. What a goal. Quinnipiac takes an early 1-0 lead. Now we jump into the second half here. Siena is going to get a little attack going here. Antonio Luga sends a beautiful cross into a running Frederick Stow-Odegaard, and he would score. What a cross. What a nice finish from Stogard. Siena ties the game at 1. Moving on now. Quinnipiac called for a penalty kick, and the Saints, Jacob Sudin Arjdiga Jensen, takes advantage, and he threads it right into the bottom corner of the net. Siena would take a 2-1 lead into the second half, but the Bobcats are running out of time. Defenseman Jordan Bennett finds Braga Asen in the middle, and then he sets up David Bercedo, and he would score. The bounce off the post and into the back of the net. It's 2-2, heading into overtime. In overtime, the Bobcats get a penalty kick 50 seconds into the game. Braga Asen steps up to the spot, and he drills it right into the back of the net there. Quinnipiac would go on to win this game 3-2 in overtime. And one of the Bobcats that earned recognition for the MAC Offensive Player of the Week would be Braga Asen. Braga Asen was awarded MAC Offensive Player of the Week for this past week. This is the second weekly award that the junior has received this year. Austin had an assist on the game-tying goal, as you saw, by Damon Bursato in the 82nd minute before he scored the eventual game-winning goal against the Saints. The junior has really developed in the past couple seasons for the Bobcats, and he looks to continue his scoring ways as the Bobcats will face off against Ryder on Wednesday.
The women's soccer team went up against Niagara in the second game of their MAC conference schedule for the first time since 2019. The Quinnipiac Bobcats beat Niagara 2-1, and you can see that they had more shots, saves on goal, saves and fouls, shots on goal, and the Bobcats will go from 6-1 overall and 1-1 in MAC conference play.
And the women's hockey team hosted the LIU Sharks this weekend for a 2-game series. Let's see how the Bobcats fared in the first game of the two. And we'll jump right in here in the first period. It is going to be the Bobcats are up 1-0 after an Olivia Mobley goal, but it's going to be Matilda Afjor finds Karina Umperville, who would score to tie the game at 1. LIU jukes past Maddie Samoskevich. She's going to put a shot on that. Olivia Mobley finds the rebound and scores. LIU is going to find Abby Latora, who's going to put it past Karina Schroeder for a goal. Quinnipiac is up 2-1 at this point in the second period. Here we go. Alexa Hoskins powerful start continues as she finds the back of the net thanks to first year Anna Node. And then later on in the second period, Hoskins going to get the puck again. Sadie Peart's going to shoot it, and she's going to be right place, right time for that rebound. What a nice play from them two. Once again, Peart is going to just throw the puck into the middle, and she's going to find the back of the net off a lucky bounce. Heading into the third period, Olivia Mobley is going to be in the corner battling here. She's going to find Lexi Agia, who just throws it on net, and Mobley's going to put home the rebound that the goalie gave up, the LIU goalie gave up. And now we got Olivia Mobley to Shraver to Alexi Agia, who's right place, right time, once again on the doorstep, waiting to put that rebound home. And now we got a long pass to Alexi Agia, who shoots and scores right under the goalie glove, a perfect spot to shoot. And now we got Sophia Irvin, and she's going to put it away. The Bobcats would win this game 9-1 against the LIU Sharks. After the Bobcats win, Q30's Gage Kilborn and Aiden Barrett recapped what went right for the Bobcats against the LIU in the first game.
The Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team took down LIU today 9-1. Aiden, it was a crazy game overall, and we saw the power play unit last weekend go 0-5 against Maine. This weekend it was a different story. What clicked?
Yeah, 0-5 last weekend, and they actually missed more today, but they scored today. They scored twice on the power play. Goals 2 and 3 are both power play goals. Olivia Mobley right in front of the net. She scores. Alexa Hoskin also gets a goal. And you know what they did? They got those dangerous players, Alexa Hoskin, Olivia Mobley, to the dangerous scoring chances. That's exactly what they did. They scored right in front, and those 2 pucks went in. That's what Quinnipiac has to keep on doing. And you know what? Courtney Forster has done a great job on the point, quarterbacking that power play for Quinnipiac in the absence of Kendall Cooper. All around a great game from the Bobcats, and their power play really clicked today and really helped them out, and then just a dominating win for Quinnipiac.
Yeah, Aiden, it's great you mentioned Olivia Mobley. She had an offensive explosion today with 4 points, 3 of the 4 points being goals. What happened to Olivia Mobley?
No, she really did. The former Miss Minnesota was all over the puck tonight. She was in the scoring chances. She was everywhere. She had 8 shots on net tonight. That's probably a big key reason to such an outburst offensively. 3 goals, 1 in the power play. She broke the power play goal drought. She was all over tonight. Cass talked about it in the press conference today. She was saying how she's became a complete player. She's back checking. She's doing everything right so far since coming to Quinnipiac. Since game 1 to now, she's been a huge growth for Olivia Mobley. And maybe now's her coming out party as she now has 3 goals, 1 assist on the season, all tonight. Great game from Olivia Mobley. Great game from the Bobcats all around.
Quinnipiac's going to look to continue to ride the wave tomorrow at 2 o'clock when they take on the LIU Sharks once again. Tuning out for the rebound, I'm Gage Kilborn, Aiden Barrett, Q30 Sports.
Let's go back into the Frank Perotti Jr. Arena for the second game of the 2-game series between the Bobcats and the LIU Sharks. Let's get into it here. It's Quinnipiac and LIU on Saturday at the People's United Center. LIU looking to rebound after the 9-1 loss. Let's head into the first period. On the power play, Quinnipiac's passing the puck around the perimeter. goes to Sadie Peart, who tries to cross-crease pass, and deflects into Teacher Holmes, and she scores and puts it in the back of the net. Moving on into the second period. Now it's a goal by Veronica Bach with the assist from Jessica Schreiber, her first NCAA goal of the season with a tic-tac-toe play of the Bobcats. We're going to get a second look on this. It is now 2-0 Bobcats. Executes on the tic-tac-toe play and finds the back of the net once again for the Bobcats. Still in the third period. Onto the third period. It's a little board battle. Moving on with Jessica Schreiber and gets the puck. Spins away to Olivia Mobley, wide open in the slot. And she will find the 5-hole to extend for the lead for the Bobcats. And that will be it for the Bobcats as they move on to improve to 4-0 and this year 4-0 final. Following the second game of the weekend, Q30B reporter Gage Kilborn had this to say about the team's performance this weekend.
The Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team defeated LIU today 4-0. And the big storyline of today has to be the first years coming up big. Maya Labatt and Veronica Bach both scored their first career collegiate goals today. When asked about this in the press conference, Cass Turner had this to say.
You know, you want that depth. Most people you're going to find in our team scored before they got here. And it's important. It doesn't always mean that they're going to score at the same level once they get here, but to know that if they get their moment, that they're confident to try to bury that puck. It's an important piece to a team that we hope can compete for championships this year.
The Bobcats will look to continue riding this wave as they take on St. Anselm next Friday at the People's United Center at 6 o'clock p.m. Reporting from the PUC, Gage Kilborn, Q30 Sports.
With the Bobcats beating the Sharks in both games this weekend, there was one player that stood out among the rest. Sophomore Olivia Mobley was the go-to player for the Bobcats on Saturday as she recorded a hat trick against the Sharks. This was the sophomore's first collegiate hat trick. The sophomore also recorded 8 points in 14 games for the Bobcats last year, with one of those 8 points being a power play goal. She also played a big part in the Bobcats season last year when she recorded an assist on the game-winning goal against then number 9 ranked Clarkson Golden Knights last season. She has 5 points in 4 games this season and looks to be a big contributor to the Bobcats offense this year. Flipping over to the men's side, the men's ice hockey team was also in action this week as they took a trip up to New Hampshire to play an expedition game against the Maine Black Bears. The Bobcats handled the Black Bears as they went on to win 7-0, and the Bobcats will take a trip up to Worcester, Massachusetts to face the number 7 Boston College Eagles and the Northeastern Huskies in the Icebreaker tournament this weekend. We're going to take our first break of the night, but the women's soccer team got their season underway with a game against Marist, and the field hockey team also took on Yale. How could the Bobcats take down the Bulldogs? We'll be right back on Sports Paws.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's split a ride home.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. It's here. It's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. What? My. Oh.
Welcome back, and thank you for sticking with us after the break. Let's get into the next slate of sports news. The Bobcats took on Marist Red Foxes in soccer and volleyball this past weekend. Let's start with women's soccer. The women's soccer team played in the Marist Red Foxes at home. Let's check on the game results. Back in the soccer world, the women's soccer team went to Marist to take on the Red Foxes in a MAC conference game. The regulation period saw no goals for either side, the same result for the end of the first period of overtime. In the last opportunity for either side to produce a final goal, one side showed up and showed out. In the 105th minute, sophomore Rebecca Cook received a through ball from Selena Salas, made a move past the Marist goalkeeper, and finished the game off for the Bobcats in double overtime. Like we mentioned earlier, Rebecca Cook had the game-winning goal. We have the call all the way from Niagara. Let's take a listen here.
This one won by the Bobcats. Just Selena Salas now. Salas looking to feed through. It's Rebecca Cook. Rebecca Cook one-on-one. Gets around the keeper with 1 foot. Wide open net. The shot is in! A goal for Rebecca Cook. A game winner! And the Bobcats take this Saturday matinee against Marist by a score of 1-0. And it's their talisman, Rebecca Cook, with her team leading 8th of the year.
The Quinnipiac men's soccer team was also in action on Saturday night as they took on the Marist Red Foxes in Poughkeepsie, New York. Ultimately, the Red Foxes took the win against Quinnipiac in New York. The Red Foxes got 2 late goals in the 68th and 85th minutes of the game, which sealed the win. The Bobcats were outshot in the game by the Red Foxes by a total of 26-5. Marist also had more corner kicks than the Bobcats by a count of 11-3. With the loss, the Bobcats dropped to 1-1 in MAC play, and the team looks to rebound from the loss this week as they take on Ryder in Hamden on Wednesday.
The Bobcats took a drive up Interstate 84 to Marist. Let's see how they favored against the Red Foxes. Women's volleyball traveled to Marist to take on the Red Foxes. The Bobcats lost the first set 25-18. Marist finished with a 14-3 run, closing with 3 aces. The Bobcats turned it around in the second set, 25-16, with back-to-back kills from Maggie Baker and Lexi Morse, helping them finish off the second set. The third and fourth sets did not turn out so well for the Bobcats, losing sets 25-16 and 25-15 respectively. The Bobcats will be back in action on Saturday, October 2nd, as they travel to Fairfield to compete against the Stags.
After the loss against Marist, let's look at how the Bobcats did against the Red Foxes overall this weekend. Overall, Marist took home 2 wins on the weekend as their women's volleyball team and men's soccer team were able to defeat the Bobcats by a score of 3-1 and 2-0 respectively, as we just showed. The Bobcats were able to defeat the Red Foxes in women's soccer, though, as they won 1-0 in double overtime. As Connor mentioned, Rebecca Cook had a double overtime winner in that game, and the Bobcats were able to steal that game from the Foxes. The women's volleyball team also took on Fairfield this weekend. Could the Bobcats bounce back from the Marist loss? And it turns out they did not. They ended up losing that game 3-0. Marist had 51 kills compared to the Bobcats 30. Fairfield also dug the ball 71 times compared to the Bobcats 54. And Marist had more blocks in the game, 10 compared to the Bobcats 4. And this improved Fairfield to 10-6 and dropped the Bobcats to 3-12.
Thank you, Chris. After all the volleyball action that took place, let's take a look at the current MAC standings for women's volleyball. After all the volleyball action taking place, the Fairfield is up on top with an overall record of 10-6. In the middle of the pack is Casinas, Marist, and Niagara with a record of 4-11 overall, 10-9, and 6-9 respectively. And then at the 8th seed is Quinnipiac with an overall record of 3-11 and a conference play at 2-4.
The field hockey team played number 12 ranked Liberty Flames on Friday afternoon, and the Flames would go on to win this game 5-0 against the Bobcats. Danielle Rhodes and Jill Bolton had 2 goals each for the Flames. The Flames outshot the Bobcats 14-1 in shots on goal. Junior Mac Varel made 9 saves in the loss for the Bobcats. Liberty also had 13 penalty corners compared to Quinnipiac's 2 penalty corners, and with the loss, Quinnipiac goes to 0-9 on the season and 0-3 in Big East field hockey play.
Women's field hockey also hosted Yale this past weekend. We now turn into highlights for the game for more. After the Bobcats get the win, let's take a quick After the Bobcats get the win, let's take a quick look at the Big East standings in field hockey. As you can see, the Liberty Flames are at the top of the standings with a 7-2 overall record and 3-0 in conference play. In the middle of the pack is Villanova, Old Dominion, and UConn. And at the bottom in the 8th seed is Quinnipiac with a 1-9 overall record and 0-3 in conference play. We're going to take a short break, but do not go anywhere. When we come back, we will take a look at rugby, golf, tennis, men's and women's cross country, and more, all here on Sports Paws. We'll be right back.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Drew, spotlight on this last one. There it is. He's gone with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color-coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here tonight on Sports Paws. The women's rugby team took the field this weekend against the Harvard Crimson here in Hampton. Let's see how they did. Yeah, so the women's rugby team took on Harvard. We're going to pick it up here in the first half. Bobcats started off the game down 12-0, but a score by junior fullback Kat Storley gives the team their first score of the day to go down only by 7 now. As you can see right there. And now we're going to pick it up. Harvard comes right back to find the room, finds room in the middle, and we're going to extend this lead here as the pile just drives into the try zone, and they put a try on the board. Picking it up later on, Quinnipiac scores the conversion to only go down 31-7 at the half right here, as you can see. Heading into the second half, Bobcats looking to make a comeback and move to 2-2. Harvard is going to come out quick here and score with a score by Kim, but the conversion goes off the crossbar, as you just saw there. to have a 43-17 lead. Quinnipiac finally scores in the half to go down 48-24 with a conversion made by Kat Storley right there. But in the end of the game, Harvard goes through the defenders and scores at the end of the game, as you will see right there, puts the try on the board, and they would win as Harvard defeats Quinnipiac 60-24. With the Bobcats falling to the Crimson this week, let's take a look at the updated NIRA standings after the weekend of action. The Bobcats currently sit in 6th in the NIRA standings with the loss to Harvard. Quinnipiac's record is 1-3 in the NIRA play, and overall, Harvard, Dartmouth, and Army are the top 3 teams in the NIRA, all with records of either 4-0 or 4-1. Brown, Mount St. Mary's, and Quinnipiac, Sacred Heart, and Long Island round out the standings. The Bobcats will play Brown next as they travel to Providence, Rhode Island, October 16th. Connor, we've been through a lot of sports today, but I cannot forget about the most important part, the top 5 plays of the week. So, do you want to take the evens and I'll take the odds?
Why wait any longer? Let's get into it.
All right, let's get into it. Take the top 5 plays of the week. Starting with play number 5. We're going to kick things off going back to men's soccer versus Siena. Junior forward Brog Austin's going to score that beautiful goal from Tomasz Vakula, and the Bobcats are going to win that game in overtime 3-2.
All right, play number 4. Switching to field hockey at home versus Yale. Play number 4. Here's her first year, Emilia Massarelli, second goal of the game, and her 6th of this season. Let's take one more look at that in slow motion. Massarelli's powerful shot that is going to fly past the Yale keeper, Luan Summer.
That was a nice goal, short side. And now play number 3. Women's soccer is facing Marist, and in double overtime, Rebecca Cook's going to get the through pass, juke out the goalie, and she's going to find the back of the net in double overtime to put the Bobcats on the board and win the game.
For play number 2, we're going to the ice from Sunday's game against LIU. Off a pass from Jessica Schreier, and that's been a shot blocked in net by Olivia Mobley, her 4th goal in the past 2 games. Quinnipiac wins 4-0.
And the top play of the week, we're going to the field hockey field. QU versus Yale in overtime. Stella Titmeyer is going to go cruising around the Yale defense. She's going to pass to Brooke Whipke, who's going to put the ball in the back of the net. Quinnipiac is going to win their first game of the season in dramatic fashion. They're going to win 3-2 in overtime against Yale.
There have been many sports taking place in the past few days, but there's a lot to look forward to in the weekend preview. First up in women's soccer, Quinnipiac will be traveling to the Jaspers on Wednesday at 3 p.m. And then heading over to men's soccer, we have Quinnipiac taking on the Rider on Wednesday at 3 p.m. as well. Field hockey will be traveling to Yukon on Friday at 3 p.m. And then women's ice hockey will be home against the St. Island Hawks Friday at 6 p.m.
And that just about wraps it up for this edition of Sports Paws. Be sure to check out our website at q30tv.com and follow our Twitter at q30sports. For everyone behind the scenes, I'm Chris Longchamp.
And I'm Connor Core.
Have a great night, everybody.